Hey guys, welcome back, I'm Jay. In this episode, we're going to look at AWS Global Infrastructure at a high level. So up to 2020, AWS has launched 24 geographic regions. Each region has 2 or more availability zones or AZs. That gives 76 AZs around the world. AWS also announced its plan to launch 3 new regions and 9 new AZs. There are 216 points of presence for edge services, including 205 edge locations and 11 regional edge caches for low latency content delivery. There are 97 direct connect locations for the dedicated network connection between your data center and AWS. AWS continues to add more regions, AZs and edge locations all the time to provide 175 services over 245 countries and territories. So what are the AWS regions, AZs and edge locations? Regions are geographically separated areas. These regions are physical locations around the world to cluster multiple data centers. Each region consists of multiple isolated and physically separated AZs. Usually there are 3 AZs per region, sometimes more or less than 3. For example, US East Northern Virginia region has 6 AZs, whereas Singapore region has only 3 AZs. Within a region, these AZs are physically separated data centers with redundant power, networking, and connectivity. So each AZ is a logical group of data centers which can be one or more physical data centers. They can be in separate buildings or locations. They are built with redundancies. There are high throughput, low latency networking between these AZs in a region. All traffic between these AZs is encrypted. So this is a photo of one of AWS data centers. It's a massive physical infrastructure. Many data centers compose the AWS Global Infrastructure. Inside the data center, there are thousands of physical servers racks, storage, and firewalls. Each data center is usually built with redundant power and networking. Each AZ has multiple data centers like this. In each region, there are multiple AZs. So why is it set up this way? The main reason of having multiple redundant data centers in an AZ and regions is for high availability. Many AWS services have built-in high availability, where resources are replicated across multiple AZs in a region. For example, Amazon S3 operates in at least 3 AZs. Data is protected if one AZ goes down. AWS also gives options to customers to deploy applications in multiple AZs, to ensure business continuity in events like a power outage, fires, or flood. This is a list of all the regions launched by 2020. In North America, there are US East Northern Virginia and Ohio regions, US West Oregon and Northern California regions, and Canada region. There is also GovCloud in US West and US East. GovCloud is only available in the United States for US governments and their partners to meet certain compliance mandates. Services in the GovCloud must be operated by US citizens on US soil. Down below for South America, there is only one region at the moment, which is Sao Paulo. In Asia Pacific, there are Singapore, Hong Kong, Sydney, Tokyo, Seoul, and Mumbai regions. Beijing and Ningxia are operated separately with collaboration from local data centers in China. In Europe, Middle East and Africa, there are Frankfurt, London, Ireland, Stockholm and Paris regions, and new regions including Milan, Bahrain, and Cape Town regions which are recently added. Each of these regions has multiple availability zones, and each availability zone have multiple data centers. When you use AWS Console, CLI or SDK to manage AWS resources, the first thing you need to do is to choose a region. The resources you created in one region is only visible in that region. There are a few considerations when you choose a region. First of all, you may want to choose a region that is close to your users for the lowest latency. For example, if the majority of your users are in the US, you may want to choose a US region. The second reason is for compliance and regulatory requirements. Certain laws mandate that certain data must be stored in particular countries. For example, if your organization is operating highly sensitive data for the US government, you should consider the GovCloud. Some resources or services are only available in certain regions. New services are usually launched in the US East Northern Virginia region first. Sometimes it takes a long time rollout to other regions. For example, Alexa for Business is only available in this region at the moment. However, this doesn't mean your end user can't access the application created by the service. It just means you can only create and manage the service in this region. Each region may have different prices for AWS services. For example, your EC2 instances or data in S3 buckets may be charged a different price in Singapore than in the US. Please keep in mind that AWS charges data transfer between regions. Data transfer inside a region between availability zones are free. There are more than 200 edge locations at the moment. These edge locations are part of AWS Content Delivery Network for low latency, high throughput content delivery. Edge locations are all over the world close to the users. They leverage Amazon ultra-fast global network backbone to deliver data and cache them in the location that is close to the users. Services use edge locations are Amazon CloudFront and Lambda Edge. CloudFront is the AWS Global CDN for caching dynamic or static content. Lambda Edge is the edge computing to run code on low latency computing resources. You only pay as you go, with no minimum upfront cost. Data transfer from AWS origins, such as Amazon S3, EC2, and Elastic Load Balancing to the edge location are free. You only pay for the data transferred out of the edge location. For example, if you are running a photo sharing website, which stores images in an S3 bucket in the US. Most of your end users are in Singapore. The first time users download images are delivered from the S3 bucket in the US, through the CloudFront network, and cached in the edge location in Singapore. Later on, other users in Singapore will download them from the edge location instead. Without edge locations, these contents will always have to travel from origin to the end user. You don't need to pay for the data transfer between S3 and the edge location. It's much cheaper than sending data from S3 to your users directly. In this episode, we've learned AWS regions, availability zones, and edge locations. Each region is a physical location with multiple availability zones. Each AZ has one or more physically separated data centers. Many AWS services have built-in high availability features. When you choose a region, you need to consider latency, compliance, regional services, and cost. Edge locations are part of Amazon Global Content Delivery Network, to cache data for low latency, high throughput content delivery. Okay, that's all for AWS Global Infrastructure. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.
Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. If you liked the video, please help us and hit the like button. If you want to watch more tutorials, please subscribe to the Cloudemy TV channel. Make sure to turn on the notification and stay tuned. At Cloudemy, we're passionate about cloud and AI technology. Please share your feedback and thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to watch. Happy watching and happy learning.